Back again.
All the way to Slovakia tonight with our old friend Filip. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey guys.
What's happening, buddy?
Yeah,
Everything's good.
Good.
it's 3 in the morning in Slovakia, just so everybody knows how late he's staying up. Yes, quick start tonight. We were on point today.
No problems for maybe the first time in 104 episodes. Everything just worked. It's it's amazing.
If there was a problem, I would probably fall asleep. So.
So why did you move back to Slovakia, dude?
I had some problems, so I had to go. I needed to finish it, and actually, it's a good thing because I was sick and I didn't even know about it. So just for fun, I went to the doctor just to check out, and I had the problems with my blood and everything. So I would have to move either way. I would have to go and do all the stuff here. So it's actually a good thing that it went so fast.
Well,
hopefully they're gonna take care of you over there.
Yeah, I mean they will take care of me even there, but it will cost me a lot more. So.
Right. For sure. Yeah.
So I know you were just telling us off screen that because of this illness, you haven't been training since you've been back.
Yep. Yeah.
Do you plan on trying to hook up with the Slovakian team at some point?
Yes, I will have to.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna train with my old team, but I don't know.
Yeah.
There is plenty of team around here. Now I'm in the capital city. I'm not where I lived before.
Yeah.
So I have like 3 clubs just over here.
So it's a bit different than it was in the U.S., huh? In terms of how close things are.
Nah, it's probably the same because in the U.S. you have club in every city now.
Yeah, and you were in a good area too. You know, where you were living, it's pretty. You can find somebody in every direction.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you? When is the Slovakian Nationals?
When? I think it's in May, but I'm not sure because I know they were changing it, or it's next month. I'm not sure right now. It was somewhere in the middle of the year, but I heard they changed the date now.
Yeah. Are you thinking about going?
Not really, because I didn't train since the competition that you made. So that's October or September.
October.
I didn't really train since then, and since I'm here, it's over a month now, or maybe it's a month. I didn't train at all. So.
I don't know, man. I'd like to see you go, even though you're not trained up. You know, I think you have a good shot of making the team.
I think I would do good, but I just don't wanna. I don't wanna force it.
Yeah, that makes sense. What do you think is your best weight? If you were going to do nationals, what would you try to compete at?
I would try to compete at my old weight, 165, but I just don't feel like being hungry anymore. So.
Yeah, you're a large 165 these days, buddy.
Yeah, probably I would have to go with 185 now.
Yeah.
Is 70? How far away is 76 for you? That's not bad, right?
I'm like 78, but we don't have 76s there. So.
Oh no, really?
No, we got 65 and 85. If they didn't change it too, I didn't check it out. So.
Oh yeah.
Maybe they have new categories now.
Yeah, I think they do. I think you can do 176. So.
I'm not sure we have it on nationals. I know it's on the European and world, but I don't think we have it on nationals.
Oh, I see.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Yeah. How big would you say compared to the United States? Like, is arm wrestling a bigger deal in Slovakia than it is here?
I don't think it is at all. We don't have that many arm wrestlers, so it's pretty popular, but it's not like something that everybody knows. Where in the U.S. Now most of the people know it. everybody either show the WAL or have some friends that are arm wrestling or someone in their family is arm wrestling. So
yeah, it's definitely a little more mainstream. A little bit mainstream.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right, people know. How does the in general, is it in your experience when you were in the United States versus there? How much different is it in terms of training? Is it is it similar? Is it a lot different?
It's different, but I was thinking about it like always because everybody asks me this, but I can never explain it. I just don't know. It's just different. Everybody, I don't know, because you train hard, we train hard, but it's different.
Sure.
Yeah, you got like a different style, a little bit different mentality about arm wrestling than we do. We have more like old strength training, I would say. And you have like more techniques and specific training and things like that.
Yeah, I remember.
I just don't know.
I remember when you first came to the dungeon, and you and Martin both said the same thing. Martin Ruman, you guys both said very strong hands. Everybody has strong wrists. That was the comment I heard from both of you. So yeah. Was the maybe the more of a focus on arm strength, or is it just strength in general? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe it was that, but maybe that's because I was always training with Martin. He was showing me everything. Maybe that's why I said the same
sure.
thing as him. Right?
Could be. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, but I think that was always my weakness. So, but when I came here, everybody was like hands of steel. I was with you, with Ran.
Yeah.
You are all good top rollers, so it may be a problem. Yeah, with Tim.
Yeah, with Tim. Everybody has a problem with Tim. So, okay, we got a bunch of questions coming in already, Filip, so I'm going to start shooting these out. Chris Gobby's watching. He's curious about what would be your technique versus Crazy George, and how do you think he would do?
Well, I can't press him. I already tried that.
Yeah.
That don't work. So you just got to go around and you have to climb. I think I would go to my defensive side, my losing side, and I would have to work there, because here you can work with him, but when you're on the other side, you're just losing everything. Right. So you have to go to your losing side and try to work the strap and go higher. I should do that first time. I don't know. I just fucked up.
Yeah,
it's easy when you think about it, but then you're there and something goes wrong and you just. Yeah.
Everybody goes back to plan A.
That's my fault.
Everybody goes back to plan A, and plan A for you is good side pressure and get your get tight behind it with your a little bit of tricep, and with George that's just murder.
Yep.
It's very difficult.
So Paul Lynn's asking about how important your ninja training was as a base for arm wrestling. And yeah, we've seen we've seen a lot of videos of you doing like gymnastic style holds, and even the ring stuff you were talking about recently with the press video you did. Do you feel like that's like a part of training that a lot of people miss out on? And is it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, and I think it's a carryover, but it's mostly because of the health for the tendons and everything. It's helping you, and it's helping you with. I always say this, with mind and muscle connection. You can easily find your way on with everything. When you need, it's different. Like when you're just moving the weight, it's not the same as when you're moving and you have to connect everything, and it's different. And for example, once I asked Demolard what he thinks about one arm chin-ups, and he said it's like arm wrestling with yourself. So actually, it's true, because you're just pulling yourself. Yeah. So, and I think it's a really big part, but for training in general, not just for arm wrestling.
So as you got more serious in the sport, did you do more or less of that kind of thing?
I did less, because from the beginning I had, like I said, from the beginning I had a little problems with my elbows.
Yeah.
I said it in one of those my videos. So I little bit start doing a little bit less, but then I came back to it. Most of my training is like calisthenic base. I don't train much with weight.
Yeah, that stuff is so good. It's good for balance, like you said, for health. You know, sometimes we get out of balance, and that's when we have the tendonitis problems and all that kind of stuff. It seems to help if you have a little bit more on the other side of it too.
Yeah, and it makes good sense too. I mean, and I feel like that kind of stuff. I know you said you have tendon problems in the elbow sometime, but I feel like body weight training is less injuries from doing that kind of stuff than there is from really lifting heavy and pushing it all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
And all that little control, like you said,
Yeah, the control aspect's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, to do a muscle up, to do the ring stuff, you have to have control over all of your various muscle groups, which is what we do in arm wrestling. So the carryover has got to be huge. And maybe you can talk a little bit, Filip, to people about the instructions you were giving for the press and how you developed it, because I thought it was a great video, and we've been trying it in the basement over here on Sundays. And I really feel that your point about having this position on the rings in terms of developing a press is excellent, because it feels exactly like a press.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if everybody saw that video, but maybe you can talk about that a little.
Yeah, actually, my press, I never knew it at the beginning, because how I started with Arm Wrestling United, but my press is a carryover from all this gymnastic stuff, from the muscle ups, from the handstand push-ups and stuff like that. And when I started, I didn't know nothing. I was so stupid. I didn't know how to top rope. My first guy that was training me, he was showing me top rope for like a half year. I thought I'm doing it, but it turns out I didn't. So, and at the end, only thing that I could do was press. But everybody was always like, "It don't hurt you." Like they were surprised about it, and I was like, no, not really, But and later on, I realized it's from all those movements, because my tendons and my elbows were already used to the pressures. So, and then at the beginning, I was losing with the press, with the weaker guys, and I was strong. I was strong in the press because from those tricep things, but. Faster guys or guys that were good top ropers could easily beat me. So then I had to find my own way how to press, because I always do it from the start.
Right.
And one more thing, I think for everyone who thinks that it's easy to press from the ready go, it's not that easy. You have to, and you have to learn how to do that, because it's good finishing move. If I could do it and start all over again, I would probably start with learning something new, as I'm doing right now. I'm trying to do more top roll and bicep things, and well, I'm doing it on the competitions too, and I'm just trying to attack opponents' bicep with the supination, and then I'm pressing through I'm using my back to pull it a little bit like from like when you're doing the hook through the bicep.
Yep.
But I just supinate, put it down with my back, and then I'm going sideways. I'm not pressing. Like normal press. I'm just it looks like that, but it's more movements in the one, because I realize I can't just jump on everybody.
Right. Yeah, so you're not using your chest to press. You're using your back to open them up, and then on the way down, your locked tricep is making the down pressure.
But for me, most important thing is that supination part. If I can take that pronation out of my opponent, I'm good. That pressing thing is just finished. When I do that, when I open my opponent here, I don't know if we can see that.
Yep.
I can do whatever I want. It's like he's just holding on without his pronation.
Yeah.
John, let's show the video with him and Corey Bresnan. It's and one of the ones I sent you at 55 seconds. It starts, because it's exactly what you're talking about, and I want to show everybody an example of it. Corey is over 300 pounds. He's really good. He's Tim Bresnan's son, those of you who don't know him. It's a fun match, too. And it's really exactly what you were talking about.
Oh, there it is. I was going to say, I didn't think I saw him.
Okay. Yeah, I sent it to you. Right, come on now. You packing up your whole house, you're distracted.
Yeah, I'm very distracted, guys. I'm very busy.
So by the way, this might be the last show for a couple of weeks, because John, he's moving, and all of his camera stuff's going to be packed up.
Yeah.
Oh, so, no.
You might have to go a couple of weeks.
It's going to be okay, Philip. Don't worry.
Okay. Come on.
Hold on. I wasn't prepared.
Go. We don't have enough stuff to talk about in the meantime. I climbed
just keep flexing in the camera.
Oh, what I wanted to say.
Say something.
You asked about that thing on the ring.
Yeah.
I just found out by accident. I didn't even know it like transit like that. And then I bought myself a ring, and I was just experimenting with the grips and everything. And I was like, oh hell, this feels exactly like a press.
Right.
And I was like, I started sending it to the people and shit. And then I was reading about it, and exactly that position, there was like physiotherapists are using them for the athletes for injured tendons and everything. So that's how I knew I found something good. And I started doing it, and then I made it that video.
All right, let's watch this match. You can talk us through it, Filip. You're gonna shake hands with me. Here we go. This is a great match.
Well, with Corey was stronger than me. I knew because I was training with him before. He didn't show up for a long time there, but I knew because he's fast. I knew I just have to stop him. And when I supinated him, I was trying to pin him, but he was so strong I couldn't. So here, somewhere here, I stopped and I started telling shits to him like, "Come on, come on!" You see, I wanted him to burn out. And then he started hitting, and I felt weaker. So I laughed a little bit there, and then I knew he's mine. I just opened the bicep.
That's great. Oh,
and
you beat me.
That's
right
me.
How dare you, Philip?
Yeah, I love that match just because Corey was right. I mean, Corey was definitely deep in where he wanted to be, and I think that's. John and I were actually talking about you at New England's, and I mentioned this to you online. One of the things that we both admire about you is your mental strength, because a lot of times when people enter a big tournament with a lot of big names, and if they take a loss, for example, then they get disillusioned, they start to crack a little, and then the rest of the tournament they're done. But one of the things I like about the way you pull is when you get beat, you can tell that you're just sitting there trying to figure out how you're going to make the next match different and how you're going to find a way to beat this guy. And I love that. So it was fun to watch you. And I was thinking of the matches that you had with RVJ at New England's were also great because you hung in there for a long time. And obviously Rob is a monster. So I thought it was impressive.
Thank you. Well, I had my girl in there, so I had to win.
Exactly. Yeah, right. That is right. That does help, doesn't it, Philip?
Yeah.
Your brother is watching, and he says that he's stronger than you.
Yeah, he's always saying that.
So there you go.
Yeah, people say stuff all the time, right, Philip?
Yeah, he should sleep.
He should sleep. There's a bunch of people saying hello, and they miss you and stuff like that, and wondering.
Hey, guys.
If you're gonna come back to the States at some point.
I will. Good. But right now I don't have any info about it, so I can't really say much about it. But for sure, I want to meet with everybody too.
Yeah. Well, it'd be nice if all of us got to meet with you in Turkey if you do decide to go to nationals and then fly to Turkey for a Worlds.
Everyone is asking me about Turkey. What is in Turkey?
Worlds.
World?
WF. Yep, I think it's the third week in October. It's in Antalya, Turkey, which is a beautiful place right on the beach on the Black Sea. So you will be able to go probably easier than us because right now the United States and Turkey relationships are not so good. So nobody's really sure.
Then they let you go.
I hope so.
Yeah,
that's what
everybody's been saying that, in terms of citizens going over for that kind of stuff. Everything's cool.
That should be.
That's
fine.
what
I hope they're right.
Yeah,
I hope they're right. Marcio says hello. Justin Bishop says hello. Yeah, so let's talk more about your training, if you wouldn't mind. Do you feel that, I know you said you're doing less of the, ninja, warrior, gymnastic kind of stuff. What did you feel was the most useful for you over here in the States, other than arm wrestling?
Other than arm wrestling, I think my gymnastic rings. Then I had to leave them for the last couple of months, so I just trained at the gym. But you can always find another way how to train. You can always find something. And I don't know. I think you asked besides arm wrestling, but I think most important was that table time. I don't think you can. I think you can simulate those movements, but I think that's the most important thing to do it. The pulling with a run. And then with them and just working on the holes in the technique, I think that's most important. I think you can get stronger in the gym, but you have to get stronger on the table too. You know what I mean? It's not like if I'm gonna be just pumping bicep, I'm not gonna get strong on the table. It carry over a little, but not.
Yeah, there's nothing
100%.
like going through the motions in terms of how to block a move or even how to initiate a move. When somebody does something to you, you learn how to stop it too. You don't just learn what it feels like. And that's something that a weight, it just doesn't think. It doesn't change directions. It doesn't do all those things that a human being can do. And then you take somebody like Ron, who has this incredible endurance. He gets into spots where you get hung up on him and all that kind of stuff. And then you got guys like Tim who are just incredibly strong. You just learn how to deal with different style opponents too.
Yeah.
And gravity is gravity.
And it's perfect for me because Ron is like this wrist killer. And so I can I can train with him that containing of the hit, and then after that I can train with Tim, and I can just do whatever I want because he don't feel me. So it's like a good compilation.
You can get all different types of training, Cause, some guys are slower, some guys are faster, all those things. You kind of you learn how to defend a move very quickly, and sometimes you learn how to initiate very slowly, and all those things are really important.
And that's the thing I learned in the US. It's because I tried a lot of training techniques. I even train more times a week because I never before. If I said here I'm training three times on the week on the table, people would say I'm crazy. But then I tried. I tried once. I tried twice. I tried 3 times. Yeah. Besides that, I was training in the gym. And I don't know, it just fits to me to pull once a week, at least the sparring. I mean, if you want to do reps on the table and stuff like that, you can do it every day. But I love to train once on the week on the table. And besides that, I have like 3 or 4 training sessions in the gym, and that works for me. So.
Yeah, and you never know, because after the years go by and everything changes too, how your body responds to things and your conditioning and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and it's important.
That's the other thing. When I did 3 times a week, I didn't feel like I'm getting stronger, but I could pull for days.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you feel it's important to change up the kind of exercises you do, or do you like to stick with the same sort of things?
No, I'm changing everything every month or 2 months. I think you have to cycle it because maybe just for me, or maybe you guys too. If you find some new technique or some new exercise, you always start doing it, and then you feel in weeks or 3 weeks you feel strong. Oh, this exercise helps me, I'm strong, and then you do it 2 more weeks and you don't feel that good about it anymore.
Right.
Yep.
So I was like, I started cycling it with and similar exercises. Just for my head, and then I read it. It's a part of some methodic. I think Todd Hutchins is doing it, or someone.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
West Side Barbell
West Side Barbell conjugate method.
Yeah, I think they are doing it like that. Yeah. So I think it's a good thing, but I just did it from the feeling. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do that now. CrossFit does it too, and there's definitely value to it. I think it's good because, as you said, you can realize a lot of big growth in a short period of time, but your body does get used to stuff, and I think the amount of improvement that you receive after that goes down and down and down. So I think if you keep trying to challenge yourself in different ways,
and I'm changing the rep ranges and everything. So. Yeah, and I'm not doing any short movements anymore. I did a lot of that, and I stopped. That's one thing that I learned in America too. That it's not helping. I did. Before I came here, I was 18, I was 165, and I was doing bicep curls, half bicep curls with 170 pounds. But I was still losing with guys in the hook. And I think now I would probably be able to do it. And I think I would smoke myself 4 years ago.
For sure.
So I stopped doing the half reps. I mean, it's good sometimes to implement it in the training.
Yep.
But like 95% of the time, I'm doing just full.
Do you think that helped with your health of your elbows and all that stuff too?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I get tendonitis if I do short movements or too many holds, and
totally
that's
agree.
it.
Yeah.
That was happening to me like crazy when I was still doing table curls.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped doing them. Every once in a while, like you said, like maybe once every few months, I will do it for fun. Yeah. But I don't do it regularly. It's bad for you, I think.
Now I'm gonna try the thing that Grassy is saying. When I come back, I'm gonna try to train a couple of months, like just do every day those exercise on the table. we'll see how that goes. I'll let you know.
Yeah, let us
Cool,
know.
man. Yeah, one thing that's, like you said, you keep changing for your mind too, is that a lot of people get really comfortable with doing those exercises and they start to feel strong and it's comfortable to stay there. So it's really good that you naturally kind of gravitated towards like, okay, I'm comfortable with this exercise now. That's not a good thing. I should probably change that now. Sometimes that comfort's a horrible thing for an athlete.
Yeah,
it really is.
But people love it though. Sometimes
well, I think it's just human nature.
It is, and it is destructive.
Yeah, it's human nature.
But you'll see that. You'll see some people that train really hard and basically stay at the exact same level, and it makes you wonder if it's because they've gotten used to a specific routine that they just repeat and repeat and repeat.
Well, most of the time people are bullshitters, They are saying they're training hard, but they are not, they don't even know it most of the time,
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah, somebody might think that they're, I'm training so hard, and they're, they do something twice a week, but they think they're not. They don't think they're lying, and they don't. It's not really a lie if they think it's so. They think it's that way, but they just don't understand.
Yeah, well, somebody upgrades their training, and then the next year they upgrade it again, and then the year after that they upgrade it again. They always think they're training hard, and then the next year they think, man, I wasn't training hard last year, but this year I am.
Yeah, that's true too.
Who is the strongest person that you have pulled at your own weight?
At my own weight?
Yeah.
Justin Bishop.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. You got a great match with him. He's watching right now, as a matter of fact. Tell me why you think Justin is so good.
Training? I don't know.
What is it about his technique, that you feel is extra impressive?
He can adapt really well with his. He's not got a similar style to Tim, but he's like a Tim. Tim got a one technique, and he's just changing little angles to beat opponents. I think Justin is doing. I know he's doing a similar thing. He's not much of a hooking guy, but he can do a lot with that top rope. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like he can fuck up many different styles with his style, just by changing his grip or how he does something in a strap. So he's good. He's not just strong.
Yeah, those little
he's like he's like combination. He's not just like a pure strength.
Yeah, those little adjustments make big results. Yeah, sometimes the big adjustments in the sport, most of the time aren't that good. They usually make sloppy matches.
That was the first time somebody hooked me like that. So I was like, how the fuck you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Before him, I don't know if you saw my super match with him, the best of 5 thing. Mm-hmm. And there was just like bim bum bum. Yeah. So that was the first time I was like, okay. Yeah. And then but he's a cool guy. He showed me everything. I asked him. He showed me what to do in strap, what he did with me, and everything. Like.
Yeah, Justin's pretty.
And
cool,
I think, because I believe in law of attraction and things like that. I think because of him, I ended up in America. Because I wanted to when I started, I was a weird kid. Don't look at me like that. When I started, I was just watching videos on the internet, and I just ran over this video, this Justin Bishop Chugs arm wrestling or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't even know who those guys are because I was new. I was green, but I was like, this guy is so cool. I gotta have a match with him one day. And since then, I remembered that match. I don't know who that was. That was, I think it was Giannis.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's pretty cool.
That's super cool.
Yeah. And at the end, I ended up in America having a match with him. So it was cool.
Well, Justin just said he knew he couldn't stop your press because it was too fast, so he had to try something else.
Yeah, I can tell you, from pulling you an awful lot, Filip, when you were here, that when you do get behind your press, it's something different. It is not like the rest of your movements. When you get in that slot, buddy, it's different. It's a lot different.
Let's show the match with Rob Vigent.
It's always been like that.
Yeah, yes. That's what I'm telling you. Since I started, I had just the press at the beginning, and I think that match with Justin is something that I needed because that's like my biggest step that I have to do after that match.
Sure.
Yeah, just to evolve as an arm wrestler.
So talk us through this match with Rob. This is, I know you got a one on him lefty too, but this is a right-handed one.
Yeah, this is exactly what I said. I just tried to supinate him because I didn't want anything from that big bicep of his. Mm-hmm. He got a bicep bigger than my head. Yeah. So I just supinated in and go straight to the side, and he still stopped me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you really drive your arm straight up into his hand, so that basically the pressure point ends up being your arm is on his wrist rather than rather than the same spot. So that's a really
right.
Yeah. And I tried to be really fast in here because I knew if this is going to be, if he stops me, then gonna be a long day.
Sure.
Yeah. Jonathan Laba just says he'll adopt you anytime you want.
Well, you can always live in New York, I guess.
Thank you. Maybe I'll message you.
That's good, man. So now that you're back in Slovakia, are there any people that from your home country that you are interested in pulling that you might try to seek out when you start training again?
Not really. I don't even know. I mean, I watched the competitions in here. Mm-hmm. I left how I left. I didn't have a good relationship with anybody in here, I would say. I mean, not with the teams, but with arm wrestling community in general. So, yeah. But it's okay now. I mean, everybody's friendly. Nobody's saying nothing. But yeah. I don't really have any goals in here. Mm-hmm. I would say I am more concentrated about those Europeans and worlds than about Slovakian competition.
Yeah. Sure. I understand. Well, I think it would be great if you do go. I think you have plenty of time to train, so I think you should definitely do it.
Well, if I go, I probably go next year, not this year.
But next year it's in Poland, so that'd be really easy.
Look at this peer pressure from Josh. Look at this peer pressure.
I try to do it on you, too. I try to get everybody to go.
I can go see my grandma if it's in Poland.
Yeah, Poland is very easy for you.
Eat some pierogi.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Yeah, 98s, buddy. 98s.
That's true. You wouldn't be. Yeah, if you eat a lot of pierogies, forget about it. You'd be in 220 pounds in no time. Yeah. Speaking of big guys, let's watch that match with Kevin Nelson.
Oh man! All right.
I know. I'm putting a lot of pressure on you tonight, John.
I'm the producer tonight.
You're a producer. It's like, get these videos going. Let's go.
Yeah, snap your fingers. Let's see.
They're fun to watch.
I think
it is. The way you pull them.
I think this is the right video, yeah.
I wasn't even shaved in there. Look. Oh.
Yeah. So this is. So how late in the day was this? These matches? Like,
no, this was fresh for fresh. Cause this is actually a weird story because I wasn't trained. That's in the time when I was training 3 times a week.
Okay.
And I trained in the Monday and I trained in the Thursday, and then guys from the Beast Mode from Jersey were like, we're going to the competition to the New York. You want to go with us? And I was like, yeah, why not? But I didn't even know about it. It was just in the morning. You can see on me that I'm not even shaved. I'm not anything. I didn't even have my shirt for arm wrestling. I have with long sleeves.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, but I'm not gonna be competing. Don't let me compete because I'm stupid. Mm-hmm. And then I came there and I just heard Travis talk with another woman. Like, we have a problem. We don't have anything in this category. There's just one guy. And And it was Travis Baines, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna help him, And I was like, put me in there, And I didn't ask what category or who was that guy.
Great catch right there.
And it was 240, and it was Kevin Nelson. So
that was a great catch right there.
Yeah. It was a good day.
I think did Travis just call a foul on you there? I couldn't tell what happened.
No.
Pin. Yeah, that's what I thought. He was shaking his head, so I mean that was a great catch right there because Kevin got a good hit on you. And you just cinched him right in, like you said, supinated, and he took control from that point.
Yep.
That's the last match. I only gave him 3 to send you, so don't worry about being embarrassed anymore.
It's good. We can do another one.
Yeah, I like him, man. Someone just said Filip's always worried about how he looks. Well, he did. I saw you throw your hat off. Yeah, that's what he said. He just threw his hat, though. I don't know if you picked up on that, John. That second match, he whipped his hat off, threw it into the crowd.
I did.
Yeah, that was good.
Somebody said, "Give me your head," so I just threw it away.
But yeah, I know what you mean when you said you were training all that a lot more on the table, and that you trained that Monday and Thursday, and you said, "Screw it, I'll do it." I've done similar things where I've trained really, really close to competition, just kind of like this tournament doesn't mean a lot to me. I'm just going to have fun. You get in there, see how I feel, and then you come out and you go, man, I felt a lot better than I thought I would with no rest. Does that give you any more confidence later on to know that, if things aren't exactly perfect for you, that you can still compete at a good level?
Well, it's good. Now I mean, I feel like I can pull every day, but I don't want to. I mean,
right.
I'm not scared, but it don't do any good if you train and then you pull tournament at the end of the day,
No.
And it wasn't my plan, as I'm saying. It just happened. I wanted to help Travis, and it helps me. He then invited me to the Droko Championship final or something, and
yep.
It was like he gave me his number, and I was like, Travis, what's going on in here?
Paul wants to know if you pulled Kevin left that day too.
Yeah, he whooped my ass.
He whipped your ass.
Yeah, he has a very good left hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
His right's no joke either, but his left is very, very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's
that was the arm that hurt. After the left-handed match, that was.
That one hurt.
But yeah. I didn't lose because of that. I think he would hook me either way, but because of that training 2 days before.
Oh, gotcha.
After that match, my left was like
yelling at you a little bit. Yeah.
That makes sense. So, did you hear that the WAL is coming back potentially in a super match format? Are you interested in super matches, or do you like the idea of more tournaments better? I mean, which one do you like better, tournaments or super matches?
I like super matches, but my results in super matches are poor. So I had just one and I lost 3-0. So, but I like super matches more because I don't think people are looking at me like that, because most of the people look at me just like a presser. But I think I'm really cerebral.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had a lot of things, and I think I have stamina for 5 people. So I build it over the time. So.
Yeah, and I mean, really, in terms of early results in super matches, it goes one way or the other. So a lot of times with early on in super matches, they don't really reflect how good you are at them. Sometimes it just reflects on who you took a super match with,
Well, but that super match showed me that I need to work on a lot of more things, because I just went there with the thing in my mind, then I can just press through him 5 times and go home,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't thinking about anything else.
Yeah, and most of the time losses give you the most information anyway. It's really tough to go back and say, okay, how do I get better when I just won? It's really tough. You can find them, but it's a lot harder. But if you go home on a loss, you're like, okay, I have to make these things better. I have to, because I can't keep losing.
Well, people have to learn how to lose.
Yep.
Like my video, I have the video.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you're gonna learn everything from that. You're gonna lose once, twice. Everybody's losing.
I also think
people have to learn how to do it.
I agree. And another thing that I think that you mentioned earlier, and it's been my experience too, when people do beat you, generally, if you can get over yourself and not be like sulking in the corner, and you go up to talk to that person, they'll tell you what they did. And I mean, I've had that experience with people like, Chris Gabi and I have talked quite a bit about, hook technique and that kind of stuff after he beat me. And like you saying, you're talking to Justin after the match with him. You learn a lot that way. Yeah. And I think it's a good part about our sport that people are willing to share like that. And if you're willing to, suck it up and talk to people that just beat you, that's some of the best time to get, information from them. And, if someone beats you, that means they have the key to beat you. And so it helps you to train away your weaknesses.
Well, I was losing a lot from the beginning, so I had to work on a lot of things.
Yeah. I think it's a benefit when you start off in the sport and you lose a lot, though. I mean, I came from that camp too. I took a lot of ass whippings.
Yeah, but people don't have it. I don't really understand it. Like people start with something and then they lose a few times and they never show up again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no the fear of failure sometimes is crushing to people.
But for me, it was. I don't know if you know the how I started at arm wrestling, but for me it was a little different. I have to keep going, so because I can do story time right now.
Please.
When I was little, little. When I was younger, I was doing gymnastics and stuff like that. And then when I was 15, I had back injury. I broke a few of my vertebrae. Vertebrae, is that the right word?
Yeah.
In my bones in my back. So I couldn't walk. And doctor said I will be never walking again. But somehow, after a couple of months, I was on my legs. So I was like, oh, yeah. But I knew I couldn't do gymnastics again. At least not for
a little
some
while.
time.
Yep.
So, and when I came back to school, I was like, I wasn't even going out. I was broken. And then when I came back to school, there was this guy, and he had something about the arm wrestling. He was doing this big presentation because he was the old student of that school, and he was doing some project for his university, and he was doing arm wrestling. And I didn't know him before that. And then he was just like, "You want to try it?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" And I stayed with him. And I think it was like something from God or something, like something ended and I needed something new, and it just came right first day when I came back to the school. And that's how I started arm wrestling. And then the bad thing was that we didn't know much about arm wrestling. That guy was national champion, but he wasn't really like a smart guy to the training. And he just took me to the biggest competition in Slovakia first week when I started, and things like that. I mean, it wasn't his fault, but
sure,
it's just how things were. And after some time, I was losing like a half year, and I never win anything, or maybe more. And then over a year, I was losing over a year, and I never win anything. And then I was like, okay, this isn't working. I gotta change something. Bye, guys. And I started training on my own. I took our basement and I just made my own stuff for the training. And after half year, I won my first competition and I beat national champion. So that's how I started.
Yeah.
And since then it was just better and better. I lost a few times, but then I came back. I bounced back every time. Yeah, I won that medal on the world. Actually, it went pretty fast after that point.
Yeah.
When I won my first medal, and then it just accelerated,
Yeah, so this sport is something you're really thankful for.
Yeah. It was like my new way of life, I would say, or something.
Sure.
It was like something from a God. Like I just lost my ability to do flips, and then I needed to find something. It wasn't like I wanted it; I needed it, and it just came to me.
That's awesome.
First day.
That is super awesome.
So I had no idea about that. It's a great story, man. I love that. So do you think you're going to stick with it? Is this going to be your sport for a while?
Well, I always wanted to do MMA.
Oh, really?
So I was thinking about like
You're young enough.
Changing it a little.
Yeah.
Well, I would do it, but I just stopped because of that back. That's the thing. But I don't feel it anymore. I mean, I have problems time to time, but
sure. Pretty good though. Not bad.
Oh, it was bad, but not
Yeah, not now. Not so much now. Good.
If somebody suplexes you in the ring, you'll feel it. Believe me.
I won't let him.
There you go. Perfect.
So, John, I know I'm going to piss you off. I just sent you another match that everybody's talking about.
Oh, Lord.
It's a good one though. It's only 16 seconds,
Okay.
and I want to hear what Filip has to say about this one because he used a different technique in the beginning anyway. See if you can guess. Can you guess what match I'm going to show Filip?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Oh yeah, I do. I know this one. All right.
Yeah, here we go. See, John's on board.
I'm on board now.
Talbot.
Yes, good guess. Very good.
Okay.
Here we go. Yeah, this is, I think, one of your biggest wins, man, right here.
All right, let's do it.
Here we go. Look how wide Talbot's back is, and what a hit, too.
Nice defensive catch there, buddy.
Yep, he just folded his wrist right under, man. So tell us about that match.
It looks so cocky in there. How I just walk over there. It was on the Rockwell. That was after the match that I beat what his name, Kevin Nelson. I was invited to this, and then I pulled him, but it was in the overalls. Because I went there just to pull him with Justin, and I asked Travis like what category are they pulling, and he said they are in 185 or something like that.
Oh,
so, okay,
right.
I'm going 180. I'm going 185, but I was like 178 maybe. I was not that big, and or 180 maybe. I don't remember the categories. and then I registered, and then I met them, and they both were category below me. And I was like, what the fuck? So I had to win my category, and then I pulled with them.
People are asking.
And it was, I don't know if you saw my first match with him from over a year ago before that, and I couldn't move with him. So
right,
I was like,
I do remember that.
Okay, this either works or I'm fucked up. Yeah, so I was standing there like I want to go in, and then, but I in my mind I was imagining like I'm just going to wait till he hits, and I'm going to take over the bottom of his fingers.
Yep.
And it works. It works. And in the second match, because we had 2 matches, it wasn't him. It was like it broke him a little or something, because I just hold him in the middle and I won.
Were you surprised that you took his hand so easily?
I was, but I wasn't. I mean, I was afterwards, not in that moment. I was strong. On that competition, that was maybe my strongest form that I was. So I felt good, but I wasn't surprised, because it just all fell to the right place.
Yeah, it was a perfect angle you chose, and I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Sometimes you set up in a way, and you're just like, "There's no way that this won't work." You just kind of feel it, you know. You're like, I can see this angle. I can feel everything that's gonna happen right now. Just as soon as they say go, I know what's gonna happen. So I know what you mean. Yeah. And then you look back on it, and you're like, holy shit, that actually worked.
Yeah, I beat him.
Right? Yeah.
And that's another guy. When I was back in Slovakia before 3 years ago, before I came to America, when I started, I was like, how can somebody be this strong like Paul Talbot? Because I saw his matches with Travis Bajan on WA on the first. And I was like, how can somebody be this strong? And then I was looking at it backwards, and I was like, I beat him. Like, it's crazy.
Well, that's what you learn later on, or as you keep going, is that the level of strength, when someone feels like they're just immovable, they're not that much stronger than you. You know, it's just a little bit. And as soon as you break through that, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, now I understand. But when they just feel so strong. You think that they're 50 pounds of pressure away from you when they're really like 5. The percentage points is so small.
Right. It's a point you've made several times, John. I think it really resonates with me. And I think it's, sometimes you feel like someone blows you off the table, but it really is that small percentage and a better approach than you had. Better strategy plus that little tiny bit of extra strength makes people seem like they're light years ahead of you when they might not be.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a good question here, Filip. Say if there was going to be a quintuple elimination match, left-handed, between Pushkar, Oleg Zok, and Travis Bajan, lefty, who do you think wins?
Right now, or
right now,
right now, Pushkar.
Yeah.
I would say Pushkar.
You think he can beat Oleg Zok in over the course of 5 or 6 matches?
Yeah. I think he can. Last time they pulled, he just put him in the hook and beat him like that.
Yeah. Right.
I think it was last time. So I don't think Zok is strong enough to do that.
Yeah, Pushkar is just so hard to stop. His
How do you think Travis does?
His angle's so exact. Well, the problem is that Pushkar's hand is super strong too.
But we saw him evolve in his last super match.
Yeah, he did, didn't you?
He's not just one-dimensional. We saw it in live.
We saw it live. That's right.
It happened in there. It was weird.
I agree with you. I feel like he just saw that it was there and took it. I don't think that was his plan. Yeah. And once he saw it, he's like, "Shit, I can do this."
Yeah. That was the first time we saw something like that from him.
Yeah, I thought that was great. Like the first time we said this a couple times on the show, and Mike got the first win, I was like, "It's over." And then,
but still, he was strong. The first match when he hit Michael Top, he just went through. I don't know if it was the strap. I don't remember how it went, but he just went through him. How strong you have to be.
I know.
I think this is just my opinion on it, and I'm not sure if I'm right or wrong. But with the King's move, where George, Michael, they're a little different how they do it. But anyway, the King's move in this fairer strap, I think it's causing some people problems. I really do. It does not tighten in the same exact way as it did before.
Maybe.
Yeah, he was definitely complaining about the strap
and I'm talking about, again, in the same conversations of strength. Its percentage is different. But at that level, That's everything, especially with that move where either you get what you need or you don't. I think it's given some people problems.
Mm-hmm. It's an interesting point. How do you think Travis does against both of those guys?
I think he would do better with Pushkar than with Zog. But that's just my opinion. I don't know. I just don't see anybody beating Zog with a top row. I don't know why everybody's trying that.
I agree with that.
You gotta go around it. I don't know if anyone ever beat him with a top row. I never seen anyone.
Yeah,
he got a big fucking hand. I don't.
Yeah. You see guys like Pushkar and Semerenko beat him, but it's always straight sideways and a hook. They turn him on his palm. Because when he sets up in the strap, if you look at where the strap's set up too, that first strap that goes around your hand doesn't go around his hand. It goes around his wrist too. So it's really, that's a tall order to top roll through that.
I don't think somebody will top roll him. I don't know. He just looks like he don't feel people when they are trying to top roll him. He just do whatever he wants. Mm-hmm. And only people that he have problems with are hookers.
Yeah, guys strong enough just to force it inside.
Yeah, and he lost the one from the lightweights too with a Kazakhstan guy like two years ago at Demirov.
Yep.
Somebody pressed him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's true inside too. Mm-hmm. I think if anyone's gonna be beating him, it's that way. It's not like around it.
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't see anybody taking that way.
Yeah, I shook hands with him, and I was shocked at the size and strength of his hand, and also the width of his hands. Because I don't know if he had, his hand is slightly mutated from a normal person. It's got an extra inch on it. So I agree. Going through his hand is going to be a mistake for anybody.
Yeah. I met him, and I was like, "Can we do a picture together?" And he was like, "Wait a moment, I'm going for my medal." And he went there, and he left the other way. Yeah.
I did get a picture with him. I don't know where it is, but his hand is on.
We'll Photoshop your head onto it, Philip.
Yeah.
What about Dave versus Pushkar Reddy? Chafee.
I think Dave Chafee. When I saw him, how how he beat Trubin.
Yeah.
It was a domination.
It was dumb.
And then Trubin was like, "Oh, I'm gonna change it a little. Maybe that's gonna help." And what? I don't know.
No, that was bad too. That was bad too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that Steve Kaplan invites Pushkar to participate in this WAL thing, because I would really hate to miss out on Chafee versus Pushkar, because I think it was just about to get made before this WAL stuff reared its head again.
I think Pushkar would be even scarier in the WAL.
I agree.
If he's allowed a little jump starts and
Yep.
I think the close your thumb, close your hand for Pushkar is. I think this is a very scary individual with that grip.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's a great point.
Well, especially in this world where you want your wrist curled a little bit. That's okay. We're all right with that. No problem. You give Pushkar more wrists than
gonna kill you.
Yeah, you make him absolutely as straight as you possibly can, because if he gets any kind of hand in the match before they go, it ain't coming back.
Yeah.
It's already strong enough. You don't need it turned in a little bit.
And to be honest, who's gonna beat him there, besides Dave? Chafee.
Right.
Well, the rumored people that are supposed to be invited are Nick Zena. Dave Chafee has been invited. I'm trying to think now. Hold on a sec.
Go text your inside source.
I'm gonna investigate this because I don't remember. But give me a minute, I'll tell you.
I mean, there is a lot of heavyweights, but I don't know. I would be scared to put Pushkar.
Yeah, there's a reason Pushkar is Pushkar. He's been proving it for a long, long time. And especially if he is in this mindset of being able to be open to different angles, like we saw with Mike. He didn't just do the same thing over and over again. So he's obviously open to doing something different. And he's just dead ass strong. He's a strong dude. So.
Well, he's open to it, but he never needed to do it.
Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah. When you just curl your wrist and go sideways through everybody, through 99% of humanity, why would you do it?
Good point.
I mean, outside of a grizzly bear, who can he beat doing that move for his whole entire career? You know what I mean?
I know that there's a lot of people that were not invited. So I mean, I just like Bajent, was not invited, and I assume that's because he's got his whole thing on, and they may or may not have sued each other over the Rockwell thing or whatever.
He's not in the WEL anymore?
I don't think so. Yeah, Michael Todd, Devin Lorette, Barboza, Matt Mask, Xena, Chafee, and a couple more. That's the last I heard. I heard this from two people with one different name, so I think it's probably, at least you could probably assume that those people at least have been called.
That one is pulling super heavy or heavy now in WEL?
Well, the new weight class that they were talking about is 215s. I don't see Devin making that, so he would be in the heavy. He would be in heavies, which I think is better for him anyway, because then he can weigh whatever he wants, and it would be fun to see. I don't know if Devin can still hang with those guys.
Yeah,
though.
did you guys see his match over in Norway? Was it?
Yeah,
Norway?
I saw it. I watched the whole thing. He all but lost that. I mean, he did win, but he got.
I don't know how you thought, Josh. I know you're around him all the time, or at least sometimes. But my first thought was he does not want to see Jerry Carteret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think just stylistically, I don't think they've ever been a great matchup, just because, of Jerry's style. I don't think he's a great matchup for a lot of people, but that's what I saw that and I just thought, man, that's like, good luck keeping Jerry out of that.
Yeah.
I don't think he was 100% serious about it. He was just fucking around.
Yeah, I think
fucking around a little.
Yeah,
if he wanted, he would want 6-0, but yeah, it showed a hole in his arm.
Yeah, because I agree. When he would take a loss, and the next match he'd be up there pretty serious, and he'd really scoop it up, and it looked kind of easy. But then, like you said, he got in that one spot, and he could not stop that. And I think it's weird, he's choosing this almost King's move, but he's getting really square to the table, and it's really exposing his bicep.
Yeah.
Well, what do you attribute that to, John? Because I think he might not have the same strength level after the surgeries, and he may have started to rely completely on his positional locks, and that, over time, are those going to be able to, can you maintain the same amount of power doing that kind of move repetitively?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I mean, it seems like that's the kind of thing that is going to wear out. You know what I mean? When you're getting that type of pressure on it over and over and over again, and sitting there and just holding, it's got to have an impact on you.
I don't know. I guess we have to ask George. The thing is, too. George. Well, the thing is,
but George has a bone lock. That's different from what Devin has. I mean, I think if your arm is architecturally locked in that position, you probably would be more resilient.
Yeah,
I don't know. What I expected with Devin being that big was that he was going to just, destroy that guy, and he didn't destroy. And I had never heard of that. I mean, some people have heard, but I'd never heard of that guy before that match. So.
Yeah, me neither. That's true. I didn't either.
So you're not talking about like a world beater that everybody knows about. It's like, oh shit, this is going to be a great match. This was somebody that was, I assume, was supposed to be kind of like a fun pull.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me, really.
Yeah, but if he wasn't serious, there is a million videos about how somebody is beating Devin. So.
Yep.
Well, it's true. It could be that. Well, do you think he would? What do you think, Filip? Do you think he can still compete with guys like Chafee and Bajan at the heavier weight?
I hope so. Well, you have to ask. You have to ask him.
Right.
If he thinks,
I know what Devin would say. Devin would say yes. Devin would say he could beat all.
And then we're gonna see.
And we're gonna see. That's true.
Well, where Devin's always been most special is in his brain. He's mentally very tough when it comes to that kind of stuff. So
absolutely.
I hope he's gonna be all right, because I just love to see him pull like he used to.
Yeah, I think you're always gonna see him pulling at some.
There was just something nice about his style of pulling.
Oh yeah,
it was just nice to look at.
Well, what's nice about Devin when you watch him pull is that he has a million different tools to use, and he does them very slowly. So it's really easy to learn through video, whereas some people do it so fast that it's really tough to see what they're doing. But you can watch him pull for hours and hours and see all these different transitions and everything, and you can really pick up a lot on what he's doing. And some of them are a little bit of, in my opinion, they're crutches more than they are strengths, but still you can learn something from that too.
Mm-hmm. That's true. What was my other question? I had another question for you. I lost my train of thought. You distracted me.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay, so if you're thinking about you 5 years down the future, Filip, do you see yourself around the same weight, or do you feel like you're going to go up in weight to challenge bigger guys?
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get much heavier if I don't want to. So, and right now, I never really saw anything in being the biggest in the room. I always wanted to be strongest. So I don't see myself coming like over. I don't think I ever gonna be over 200.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
So I think it's gonna like naturally I'm gonna stop somewhere around 190, maybe 195, and
Yeah,
I
I would
don't
agree
think
with that. I would agree with that. You have the frame for 95 for sure.
Yeah, I don't really want to be like a big guy or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one thing I always liked about you, Filip, is you never really cared about weight, especially in tournaments.
Yeah.
You know, I really.
I don't even know how much. I don't even know how much I weigh.
I like that because this sport is really filled with at times guys who really care about 5 pounds. Mm-hmm. This person was 5 pounds heavier than me. There's no way I can beat him, and it's like what?
Yeah.
I was like that. I was like that too. Before you just need to throw it away, and then
yes,
everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah, it's a block.
Even if you, yeah, that's a block, and you just think about how he's better because of those 5 pounds, and you just have to focus on winning.
Joe Marrero's watching. He said he trains with you for a year, and that he learned a lot from you. And he credits you for the amount of progress he's made in the short time he's been pulling. A lot of people, you should read the comments later. There's a lot of people talking about training with you and how generous you are with your knowledge. It speaks well of you, I think. Basically, we're going to miss you over here in the States, man. I hope you come back soon.
I miss you too, guys. Don't make me cry.
We'll have you on the show every other week. Is that okay?
Let me know time.
Steven Zell just pointed out that your brother and dad are big and heavy, so you might end up being heavier than you think.
Yeah. My dad always wanted me to. He's training for bodybuilding since he was like 15, and he always wanted me to go that way, but I just don't feel it, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. I hear you. Well, it's 4:20 in the morning over there for you, so I feel like I don't want to keep you up too much later, Filip, but I really appreciate you spending the time with us, my friend.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime on this show, Filip. You ever get bored and you're not doing anything, you call us up and we'll get you back on here and we'll rap for a while.
Now I'm going to call you every week.
There you go, buddy. Yeah, man, it was really good talking to you. You're one of my favorite ones in the sport, buddy, and I mean that, and I love you, okay?
Thank you. I love you too.
All right, buddy.
Good night, guys.
Adios. Good night.
Hey, guys.